welcome back to my channel. I went ahead and asked on Instagram for you guys to submit some of your questions, so I thought it'd be fun to do a little Q&A to kind of give you guys like little life updates, answer your questions, see how we're doing. So for starters, I am in Eloises' playroom right now. She's currently napping, so I'm gonna try to like go as quick as possible just because I have tried to sit down and film this video so many times, and she's finally down for a nap, so like now's my chance. And I don't even have to like whisper, but like I kind of get in the habit of doing that, so just like bear with me. But we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. The very first question is, how's the short hair? What made you do it, and is it too much maintenance? So if you haven't already noticed, I chopped my hair off. I also got bangs. They are pulled to the side right now though because it's been a minute and they're kind of like a little too long now. I need to go get a trim. I always cut my hair short from time to time just because I love to like refresh and kind of like change my appearance. I was waiting until I was like out of the whole thick of postpartum and kind of had more hair regrowth before I like chopped my hair off again. But the bangs is new. I haven't had bangs since I was like 6 or 7 years old, so that did take some adjusting, and all that to say, I just like went for it. I absolutely love it. It is so fun. I feel like it's like a little accessory. It just feels so different from like my usual haircuts, even though I've gone short before. In terms of it being too much maintenance, my answer would be no. If anything, I feel like it's so much easier than having longer hair, just because especially now with like a baby, like I don't have a ton of time to just be like doing hairstyles. And so all I do is wash my hair like once, maybe twice a week, give or take, and then I curl it, and then honestly, however it wakes up is like how it goes. So I've been loving it, and if you're on the fence about chopping your hair, I say do it. The next one is, will the house be ready in 2025? So if you guys don't already know, my husband and I are building a house, and yes, the house will be ready by 2025. Lord willing, there's like no reason why it wouldn't be. We started this house back in January of 2024, so it's officially been a year, and I say we probably have like a solid 3 months, maybe a little more, maybe a little less before we're done. If I'm being fully transparent with you guys, the reason things have slowed down is because we ran out of money. We are trying not to like cut corners or like rush the process. Obviously we want to move in as quick as possible. That's why it's just been taking a little longer. Also, Grayson has been building the house completely by himself. The only stuff that we've hired out is the concrete foundation, and then we're gonna hire out the drywall. And so it's obviously just been a lot for a one-man job, especially considering he has another job on top of this, and he's married and has a kid. So it's just a lot. We've been really busy, but it's turning out so beautiful, and I cannot wait to like bring you guys along on a house tour, bring you along on like decorating and just like doing vlogs in the new space. Like it just looks so beautiful, and I'm so excited. So stay tuned for more house content coming mid 2025. Okay, so on that, the next question is, how many jobs does your husband have? I feel like he works so much, LOL. So yes, he works so much. He has one job, and that's managing a restaurant, but then whenever he's not working that, which he does full time, he's at the house building. So basically he's like working non-stop. I'd say he works probably like 14 to 16 hour work days, which is insane, on top of like making time for me and for Eloise. And so that's probably why you don't see him a lot in my content, because the other question is, I never see your husband in any of your videos. Are you guys doing okay? Yes, we are doing great. I feel like in the grand scheme of things, even though we're so busy, like we're really intentional with the time that we do have. We're also nearing our 7-year anniversary, and I just feel like with time our communication has gotten better, and now that we've welcomed Eloise, entering that like phase of parenthood and this like new stage of like life, and just like getting to have lots of redemptive and joyful moments, I feel like we're in such a sweet spot. But that is probably why you don't see him a whole bunch. But once the house is done, he'll be so much more available, and he like so wants to like hop back on here and like do content with me, so I'm really excited for that. So stay tuned for that as well. But on the topic of the house, if you guys are interested or have any questions about the house build, let me know down below, because I'd love to like just share how that process has been with you guys. Are there any places you are planning to travel to someday? Lots of places. I want to see a lot of places. I actually just got back from Europe. I went on a destination wedding for my cousin, and I was there with some of my family members. And while Grayson and I still want to see like a lot of parts of Europe, hit places like Switzerland, Australia, Ireland, like all these places, I think our focus this year really wants to be like within the US. We want to visit Hawaii for one, but also we've always done like road trips in Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, like those places. But we kind of want to try like places that we haven't been to, but we've heard a lot about, like Montana, Idaho, even like this area, like upstate New York. Just like places that we haven't been to before. So I'm really hoping that we'll hit some of those spots this year. What do you think about the Tik Tok ban? So this is kind of funny because when you guys submitted these questions, the ban had not gone into effect yet. But now that this video is going live, TikTok is now back. I have mixed emotions about it, if I'm being honest. As a consumer, like I absolutely love TikTok. I love scrolling it. And so in that sense, I was kind of bummed, but also as a consumer, I was almost somewhat excited to like not have a platform that is like honestly that addictive. I was kind of curious to see like how other social media platforms were gonna play out if we didn't have TikTok, and honestly just to like see how people would like live again a little, you know, without being so glued to their phones. But I know like everyone has their own set of boundaries, and like I know how great TikTok has been in the grand scheme of things in terms of like people building a community, building a business, building a platform. As a creator, like it is a really great platform to use. And so all in all, I'm happy that it's back, but I was curious to kind of see like what would have happened. How is your relationship with God? I feel like I could do a whole video on this, but to kind of just like keep it short so we could hit several other questions, I'd say I'm doing okay. I feel like I'm not reading the word, or like my husband and I haven't found like a home church yet. We haven't necessarily found like a community group either. And so I wouldn't say that we're like in the best place. I just feel like scheduling and with everything going on and like adjusting to like this new stage of life, like it has been hard to make time for that, which I know is not like the best thing to say or like a good excuse in the grand scheme of things, but that's just like me being honest with where we're at. I also just feel like ever since we lost Elia, like just going back to church, being involved in a community group, reading scripture, hearing worship songs, it comes with its own challenges, and so it hasn't been the easiest. But I also feel like now that I've entered like this redemptive, joyful season of like having Eloise, I feel like that kind of helps me tap into my faith a little bit. So overall, okay. I'll have to do like a whole nother video. If you guys are interested, let me know down below, but I'll leave it at that. And I'll just go ahead and answer the next question, which is what are my 2025 year goals? So one of them would be for Grayson and I to find a home church and like a community group. I feel like I have a lot more desires of what I would like my faith to look like. But the only thing that I'm like putting on us this year is like find a church and find a community group, and that's it, and we'll go from there. But in reference to like all my other 2025 goals for this year, trying to get back into the gym and kind of just figuring out how to make time for myself as a mom, and like with this new schedule, and just being intentional about like taking care of myself. I also want to get back into like ceramics and just pick up more hobbies. Another like really random goal is like I want to get my nails done at least once a month, and so this is like what they look like right now. Just like random things like that that are like stuff that I like to do. Grayson and I are trying to do like a weekly date night, weekly check-in, kind of like how we're doing. One of the goals obviously is to finish the house and move in this year. And all in all, like I have been so thankful and so privileged, honestly, all thanks to you guys, to like make social media a full-time job for me, and to be able to work from home and to contribute financially. So it's been so nice, and obviously my goal is just to continue to grow that. I'd love to just branch out on the kind of content that I make and all that stuff. So it's kind of like the gist of what I hope for this year. How often do you talk to your family? I feel like you do your own thing. So yes, we have like a little family group chat where we like talk and send photos, and I occasionally talk on the phone with my parents, but they do live in Florida and I currently live in Arkansas, and I feel like I've always been really independent, kind of doing my own thing. I've always loved traveling, like seeing new places, settling down in other places. I love Florida, and like I love my friends and family, and I love getting to see them. I love the beach, but I've never felt Florida to be a place where I wanted to settle down long term, especially with kids. And I don't even know if that's the goal long term for us here in Arkansas either. But yeah, I've always done my own thing, but like we're doing good and I do talk to them. It's just we are kind of like doing our own thing. Next set of questions that I'm seeing is, have you guys talked about baby number 3? When are you guys gonna have your next baby, etc.? I'm being completely honest with you guys. Right now, the only time we hit the topic of another baby is when we're like, oh my god, I don't think we can have another one. And it's not to say that we don't want to have any more kids. I've always wanted to have at least 3 kids, and I definitely want to have one more Earthside for sure, just so that Eloise can have a sibling to like play and grow up with. But just like on a personal level, like even if I take loss out of the picture, like pregnancy and birth and postpartum, like I don't love it. Like I don't hate it. It is like a beautiful experience, but it is just a lot. Like it takes a lot from you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and like I've already done it twice, and I just don't know how many more times I want to do that, if I'm being honest. And then if you add in like the factor of loss, like it just makes all of that all the more daunting. And then now that we have Eloise and like we're getting to actually experience like motherhood and fatherhood like tangibly through her, it is such a beautiful experience, but it is a lot of work. And I don't say that lightly, and I don't say that saying that I don't love it, because I do love it and I wouldn't have it any other way. I just feel like the season we're in right now, with like such busy schedules, with Grayson being like not home very often either because he's building the house and working, and yeah, I just feel like right now we don't want to have any more. I know for a fact we'll have at least one more, and that'll put me at having had 3 kids. I've always said I wanted 3 kids, even if one of them is not like here physically with us, like I'll have had 3 kids. So I know for a fact like we'll have one more for sure. I don't know how many more after that, and I don't know how soon we plan on having the next one. I think once we're like settled in, moved in our house, and we're like done with that project, and we kind of get to like slow down a little bit. Also, as Eloise gets a little older, I think we'll be able to like revisit this question and like be a little more excited about it, but also, I don't know, just like discuss it more. I just feel like it's not like a major topic of discussion right now, because it's just like not something we see happening necessarily anytime soon, if that makes sense. I'll leave it at that for now. The next question is, how is your baby girl's eating journey going? I love this question because I actually talked about this a lot on Instagram a while back. We introduced solids to Eloise when she hit the 6-month mark, but honestly she didn't really show much interest, and then so we just kind of like waited a little bit. But in the grand scheme of things, I think it took a lot longer because she's now almost 14 months and she's honestly just now having like actual food. I'm still exclusively breastfeeding her. She's not nursing as much because like we have been giving her more food, but Grayson and I like we're just so scared of giving her food and like scared of her choking or having an allergic reaction. For the longest time, like I was not comfortable feeding her if someone else was not with me, and so I feel like that really like delayed the process. And I like put that in quotations because like I feel like it's so easy to compare like someone else's timeline to like your timeline, but like she's doing great and she's gotten so much better at like chewing her food, and she's like so interested in food now. And so like I hope that this encourages anyone who might be on the same boat of like, oh my god, like am I behind, or like should I be doing something different? And I also got myself a Life Vac. If you guys don't know what that is, it's like this little device that like essentially helps if like your baby or if an adult is choking. It's a device. I'll have it linked below if you're interested. It has really great reviews. A lot of people talk about it. But I got that because it just gave me like extra peace of mind. I am CPR certified, but I just like having that. All in all, her eating journey is going so much better, and it's been so fun, honestly, just like introducing her to foods and like just getting to like watch her. I don't know, it's really cute. Have any favorite baby products or a nice baby shower gift? And then I'm gonna tie in this next question, which is, do you have any suggestions for cradle cap? So if you guys don't know what that is, I'm not really sure if I know how to describe it, but it basically looks like dandruff on a baby. And we actually struggled with that for a little bit, especially in the earlier months. And I didn't really do much to it because everywhere I read just said like, you know, you can like scrub it a little bit whenever you're giving them a bath, but like don't pick at it. And so I didn't really do a whole bunch. I did use this like little MOMCOZY comb from time to time whenever I'd give her a bath, but honestly I just feel like giving her a bath and like washing her scalp really helped, and with time it's kind of gone away on its own. But with that, I'll have linked below some like of my favorite baby products, but one thing that I think is super cool is the MOMCOZY Elite Baby Care Kit. It's really cool because I feel like it has all of the essentials that like you need when you first have a baby. It has like a nail filer, a thermometer, like a medicine syringe, a comb, the cradle cap brush, a teether, a lot of little random things, and then like a little storage case. I feel like this is just kind of like a fun and more like complete gift instead of like getting a bunch of little random things. If you guys are curious in checking it out, I'll have it linked below. I also have a discount code if you guys want to use it. Last question is, does baby girl talk anything yet? And if so, what was her first word? She's the cutest girl ever, by the way. And then actually the last question that I'll tie into that is any tips on teaching them? So yes, she says a couple words. Her first word, if I remember correctly, was actually puppy, and it is in English. If you guys aren't familiar with like our situation, Grayson only speaks English, but he like semi-understands Spanish. And then my first language was Spanish, but I also am fluent in English. And between Grayson and I, like all we talk is English. His family only speaks English. My family is more prominent in Spanish. And I've really been wanting to like make sure that she learns both languages. And so like I read to her books in Spanish and in English. Her first word was puppy, and it is in English. And I think it's just because like obviously she's in a more English prominent like speaking environment, but it's so cute. And she knows a handful of other words like shoes, socks, going outside, good job, so stuff like that. But I think the biggest thing that I've been learning is, I don't know why I thought that like teaching your kid to speak whatever language that is, like you'd have to like sit with them and like read them books and like have them repeat word after word to like learn it. I don't know why this was like my thought process, but the more time progresses, like everything that she has learned, she's kind of just like learned from like repetition, from like seeing it, from like watching me say it or do it. And so I feel like that kind of like clicked in me, where I've like realized that it's much easier for them to like pick up on words and to pick up on a language than I thought it would be. Like yes, there's great resources, like by all means get them like good books. I'll actually have linked below some of my favorite like Spanish classics, because I feel like it's so hard to find Spanish kids books in store. But anyways, all that to say, I feel like if this is helpful in any way, is just like don't put so much pressure on it, kind of just like incorporate it into your routine. I do need to be more intentional about like speaking Spanish, because while I know it, I really only do it when I'm like with my family. I don't really do it with Grayson, and so it's not second nature for me to like do it in my day-to-day. Like English is just like my go-to, but I do need to be more intentional, and I say this to like hold myself accountable because I want her to know both languages. Yeah, it's just been interesting to like see that development of her and like how quick she learns things and like how easy it is to actually like teach them these things. So I don't know if that was helpful at all, but it's really cute to hear them talk. I'm gonna end the questions there. If you guys have any more questions that I didn't get to, by all means comment them down below. If there's anything else you guys are curious to know about, whether it's like the house build, mom products, I don't know, whatever it is, or whatever other type of videos you guys would like to see from me. Let me know down below. I want to be really intentional about posting more long form content for you guys, so please let me know what you want to see. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Also feel free to follow me on my other social platforms where I'm like really active. And thank you guys. Happy New Year. Also, let me know like what are your goals for 2025? What are you hoping for this year? And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.